Peace and blessings, brothers and sisters. It is going up once again. It is yours truly, Bakri Jumbo. I am the founder of Iwapele Movement. My beautiful wife, Amani Jumbo, is the co-founder. We focus on your spiritual, your physical, and your financial well-being. We are a solution-based ministry. And I have in the building, the Griot team is in the building on today. You know, you got to give it up, man. You know, we got brother Kofi in the house. He is no stranger. We got brother Sean in the house. You know what I'm saying? And we get ready to light it up on today, man. These brothers are some powerful, powerful authors and speakers. And, you know, these brothers are entrepreneurs. And, you know, they give us information that will help our people to be enlightened. It will connect us with ourselves. I've been very blessed to be able to read the book, and on the day this is going to be the topic of discussion, and it is called the Modern Day Griots and Griottes. Okay, the new generations. This is a phenomenal read. Listen, I'm gonna tell you all the truth. I'm a brother. I love audio, and I was telling good brother Kofi Paza on here before we came on the live. I said, man, from the beginning of this book, it actually captivates you. And I'm not an easy person to I'm, I'm not an easy person to captivate. You understand what I'm saying? So that information, man, out of the gate with the elder talking, man, it just captivated me. I was like, wow, this is going to be good. You know, and I read the book, you know, in its entirety, man. Brother Sean, brother Kofi, hey man, this is a masterpiece, man. How you brothers doing on today, man?
Well, how about yourself, brother?
Doing well, doing well. Thank you for asking. Yourself, brother Sean.
I'm doing fantastic, man. Glad to be here. We had a whole week anticipating this. Every day, me and Kobe talking. Don't forget Sunday at 3. Don't forget Sunday at 3. I said, we can't wait, man. We gonna get it. We gonna rock and roll.
Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed, man. So listen, man, one by one, if you would, you know, just please introduce yourself, you know, how you brothers came into being, you know, how did the Griot podcast come about, why the title Griot, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I know that's a lot to disseminate, you know, but let's go ahead, let's break it down like a fraction. Let's get it.
Go ahead, Sean. I'll let you. Oh, you okay? Well, he's like he says, I'm not a stranger to the platform, man. I'm always grateful to be on the EYPLA movement with my brother. I go by Kofi Piche. I'm a member of various groups, the Seshuma Ani Meta Nature group, who studies the meta nature. I'm also a member of Kofi Piche research team where we study in African and African American culture and tradition and history. I'm also a member of the Masi Warrior clan where we specify in West African culture and tradition. That's our area, our specialty. I'm a content creator, a podcaster. I'm an owner of a publishing company, an apparel company, in Boca Family Connect Apparel. I'm an author, a writer, a ghostwriter, amongst other things, man. Long list.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. I am Jonathan Polador, aka Sean P, the host of the Sean P Experience here on Instagram, that is. And beyond that, I am the other half of the Griot podcast, my man Kofi Pasai. And I'm a man, 16 plus years of public speaking, churches, schools, prisons, graduations, you name it, man. When it comes to health, fitness, wellness, education, literacy, bullying, policing. I go real deep when it comes to African American history, Black history, you know, any Black matters of that nature. Also self-published author. This is my 6th publication being a part of.
Wow.
All of them are self-help books. All of them are made to influence and hopefully, I want to say, generate interest in my reader to get them to read other books beyond this book. So my audience most time, they're not avid readers. They might be guys off the street, off the block. They might be, you know, just young men trying to find their way. So I'm hoping that my books will spark their interest, and then they'll dig into some of those other works that we all know, and they're classical work, right?
Yes,
So
indeed.
yeah, but just the combined effort of that together with Kofi, modern degree podcast, like a no-brainer, man. It was like a let's do it, let's rock. It only
Mhm.
made sense. based on both of our career trajectories leading up to this point.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I tell you what, brother Sean, it shocked me, man, when I read the backdrop of you, in the modern day griots and griottes, right? For you to say you were shy, I was like, what? Brother Sean,
Bro, I was
I
scared
was
to
telling
death.
brother Kobe, man, I'm serious, man. I was
Hey,
so shocked, man.
man,
Like
let me
you
tell
you
you.
definitely have bloomed, my brother,
Hey,
over time because of
bro.
the way you intellectually articulate and convey what
Mm,
it is
yeah,
that you're saying.
I appreciate that.
So today I was like,
Thank you.
this brother
Bro,
he came a
so
long way from that. You know
Kofi and I have been on this. We're on this promo run for the book, doing all these different podcasts and so. I've never said this. I was scared to death, man. I was
I
scared as a
know
kid.
that shocked me.
I was scared to death. Like because I heard this stat one time, right? And they said like public speaking is the second greatest fear of all times, next to like skydiving or something crazy. I can totally understand why that is. Like to raise my hand in class and talk and not get
Mhm,
laughed at or snickered or the things that average people think about. I
mhm.
had those same apprehensions. But like I said in the book, when you read that chapter, man, the more I read, it gave me so much more confidence because guess what? I just read this. I'm not making it up. I got
Yeah.
sources, I got facts, I got stats and data.
Mhm.
So that confidence just, I'm like, I'm 8 feet tall on the stage. Nah, man, you can't tell me nothing on the stage right now. 'Cause I can back up what I'm saying. Back then, as a kid, when I wasn't really reading, I think I didn't have anything to say. Put it like that.
Mhm. Yeah, because I recall reading the backdrop of your life story, and you were saying how a gentleman that you respected very well um, gave you some literature to read. And I recall reading when you said you just
Uh,
did it out of respect of him
yes, yeah,
because
the
you
OG.
respected him
Yeah.
so much
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to where you just took in the literature, and I
And
recognize how you said that you just started falling in love with reading and
that
whatnot.
was a wrap. That was a wrap. And I want to say this for the audience. Anybody out there, listen, you're a parent, you're a teacher. That one man gave me one book and it changed my life. This is like 23 years ago, man. And so for every book that I publish, I find that brother on social media and tell him thank you all over again.
Mm,
I've done it for the last 6 books. When the book come out, I seek that brother out and I tell him thank you all. I was an 18, 19-year-old lost kid, man, in the military.
mhm.
And because of that, man, I became a college graduate 3 times. I done wrote 6 books. I'm doing all these TV shows, radio shows, podcasts, going to schools. I've been a college professor. I owe that
Wow.
one man. I owe that one man all of that, bro. My family, my wife. Without that man doing that, my whole trajectory is something different. I'm
That's
indebted to
powerful.
that brother
It's
forever, man.
powerful.
In my mind, he don't think that, but I think that. He like, oh man, come on, son, man. I'm like, nah, bro, this is serious, you know.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's shift to the brother Kofi, man. So talk to us about your backdrop in regards to, how you got started, because I know you and I, we had a very extensive dialogue prior to coming on, and we was talking about how we didn't know about certain individuals. So let's talk about who was your influence in regards to you becoming an author, and an educator now within the community.
Well, my story is kind of the same like Sean's. I've been in an organization, a Masonic organization. I've been a Mason, a Freemason, probably about 17, 18 years. So back in 2013, I encountered an individual on a Freemason site, and we went back and forth over the Abraham story about Abraham.
I was wondering
Uh,
what story that was.
yeah, that was the Abraham story. I don't share the story a lot, but it was the Abraham story.
Mhm,
Abraham set up the irrigation system in Egypt. Abraham brought knowledge and wisdom to to Egypt, right? And so
mhm,
we was going back and forth, and we was having a dialogue. And I'm on the side of Abraham, and this because of the Masonic literature that I was reading. You know what I'm saying? And and way we was taught about Abraham, Isaac, Ishmael, and so forth, right? About these men. So we ended up that conversation came offline to a conversation on the phone. And
mhm,
I stopped being combative and started to humble myself and listen to the brothers actually talk. So as he begins to talk, it was like something just resonated with my spirit. I mean, and that wasn't, honestly, that what made me stop talking was me humbling myself. When that what made me start humbling myself was my spirit, and my soul began to start smiling for the stuff that he was actually saying. It started resonating with me. So after that conversation, he gave me some videos, he gave me a ton of books to buy. So me buying those books and me listening to those videos, that was shaped and formed me and to become an avid reader. That what actually got me on my mission, and made it my duty that I want to know who I am and where I come from and the contributions that my ancestors made. So without that brother, who's he's actually a chef. He's a entertainer chef. He's been on all type of TV shows. Some of the favorite cook on I think a cooking show he was on. So he's a entertainer chef, man, a guy. So without him, Chef Ponder is his name. So you can look him up on Instagram. So without Chef Ponder, actually, me having that conversation, like Sean said, who knows where I would be at right now.
Man, it's so beautiful to hear you brothers talk about some positive influences in your lives, because we hear about it, in the gangster rap,
Right.
about
Right.
this person
Yeah, the
influenced them
OG.
to get into, the game. And you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
The
So it's
gatekeeper.
a beautiful thing to me to hear of brothers, because see, that's what's really captivating me. You brothers are talking about other brothers
Yes.
that
Yes.
has actually influenced you both in a positive way, not to be a hip hop artist, not to be an athlete, which nothing is wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? It's an honest living. You know what I'm saying? But you brothers was influenced to be intellectual, to
Yes.
be
And
educators. This is why I like this, because it's so rare
it is.
that you
It
get
is.
brothers
It
interviewed
is.
by doing something that's intellectual.
Yes. I want to say something real quick too,
Please,
man.
please
Like
do. Please
in
do.
every book that I write, pretty much, there's going to be a chapter in there on mentorship, leadership, proper coaching, guidance, because that just such the backbone of my Sean P story is various mentors in my life guiding me, leading me. That's my life, man. So now at this point in my life, it's funny how life go by so fast.
Yes,
The
it
phone
do.
calls I was making to them back in the
Yes, it
days,
do, man.
I get those phone calls now. The message I was sending 2 in the morning, man, I don't know what to do. Now I'm getting those text messages and phone calls. Guys are asking me life and death pivotal questions now, and they're hanging
Wow.
on my every word for that next thing. That's a large responsibility, man. So I take that seriously, because I know the guys in my life that answer the call for me. I
Mm-hmm.
gotta answer this phone call. I don't care what time it
Mm-hmm.
is. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm gonna answer this phone call because that man right here answered the phone for me.
And speaking of MC, Brother Kofi, when I read your story, you know what I'm saying, you were an MC. I'm not going to say word because it may be still present tense, but I recall you talking about that, man. You know how, you were, really more so, you was really seeking to be an MC at one time. You know what I'm saying? So are you shocked, brother? Like, man, I thought I was gonna do this, but I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? Tell us about that, man. How do you feel now that you actually are here doing this right now?
Yeah, I'm shocked because as a young man, as you read the book, I started out early, maybe 12, 13 years old rapping, and I was in junior high, got with these group of guys, and we almost got signed to Rap a Lot when I was in high school.
Wow.
Um, and so I took it seriously. I took it serious and writing rap. So I was a writer. Before I was writing raps, I was a poet. I wrote poems. I wrote poems um growing up, and my poems ended up turning into rap. I got influenced by hip hop, LL Cool J, Kumo D, and a Salt and Pepper CD, which I talk about in the book. Those three, not CDs, but tapes, and wasn't CDs out at the time. So those three
Mhm.
tapes influenced me, where I said, "Oh, okay, they actually doing what I'm doing with my
Oh, it
poetry.
was your grandmother that gave that to you,
My
right?
my grandmother. My grandmother raised me. My grandmother gave me those tapes, and well, and that sprung me into a full fledged trying to be a hip hop artist. So I
Mm-hmm.
slept, breathed hip hop. So I went, I wrote. I ended up buying pieces of equipment, started producing music for a group that I was in. Actually was in several different groups. Like I said, I almost got signed to Rap a Lot Records. My high school year, my 10th grade year, me and my two other guys that we was in the group that I was in a group with. But yeah, man. I mean, if you would have told me, man, I was gonna be I ain't gonna say a writer because I was always writing, but an author, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? An author of several books,
Mm-hmm.
traveling, doing lectures, public speaking, teaching, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have guessed it in a million years, man. But I'm just glad that I'm on this path now, you know what I'm saying? This path
Mm-hmm.
of educating and trying to liberate the people. But I am still a hip hop artist.
Yes, you
I
are.
still write poet. I still write raps.
Mm-hmm.
I produce. I started posting a lot of my music online, the music that I produced, but I hadn't made any music in a couple of months. But but you can go on my Instagram page or my Facebook page and check out them 5 tracks I be putting.
Hey
And
man, it's a crazy
it's funny
frog
how
that
life
gonna
goes
praise
from
his own power, right?
yeah.
Now, brother Sean, hey man, you supposed to be shooting jump shots right now, and
And
you
I
know
still do,
understand
and I
you was
still
a
do,
baller. So
and I
I
still
mean,
do.
how talk to us now? How you went from balling with the basketball to
Now
balling
I'm
with
balling
books?
with
I mean, what's good, man? Talk to us
now
about
I got the ballpoint pen. And
that.
just for the record, I played a young brother about 20 years younger than me Friday, 1-on-1. I ain't touched the ball in years and gave him that. But anyway, to answer your question, man, it feels amazing. But like Kofi just said, I would have never imagined being here right now doing what I'm doing. Like I said in my book, unfortunately, when I was in school, we had a public speaker come in. I'm in the classroom like, oh man, I don't want to hear that. I'm looking at my clock. Like, man, what time basketball practice is? They in math class doing the fractions and all that algebra. I'm in the class like, man, I
Yes,
don't want
sir.
to. It's embarrassing now because if you see my books I have now, how much I do my studious notes and underlining and posting notes and tabs and all this stuff. I was nowhere near that studious in actual school, man. It's crazy, but that's how
Definitely,
God
man.
works,
Definitely
man.
shocking. Definitely
That's how
shocking, man.
God works.
Okay, let's get into this masterpiece, gentlemen, because this is why we're here. You know what I'm saying? I want to just give everybody a brief introductory of yourself. So we get ready to dive into this masterpiece. So let's talk about, okay, you have your actual broadcast, you know what I'm saying, that's called the Griot. Now check this out, Kings. I have to bring this up. Now, you guys came out with this book, it was before Nas dropped his album. You know what shocked me? In the song called Fever, in one of the verses, he mentioned Griot. And I was like, yo, I said, man, this is like timing by the ancestors. Like, I said, I had to ask these kids, but then I said, wait a minute. I said, their book came out. They
Before.
was working on their book before he dropped the album.
Yeah.
So this is
And
like
I
perfect
just
timing. So how
I
you
just
guys
saw
come
something.
up with the title Griot, man, and Griottes, man? Let's talk about it.
But before we get to that, I just saw something
Please do.
yesterday I didn't realize in our book discussion. Our second chapter in the book is called The Art of Storytelling, right? So
Yeah.
Outkast just celebrated the 25th year anniversary of I think Akumenai 20 years ago or 25 years ago. And then the Love and Below album celebrated 20 years recently, the most successful hip hop album of all time and everything.
Hmm.
But the Art of Storytelling title came from the Outkast song, The Art of
Oh,
Storytelling.
really?
Yeah, that's where that came
Wow.
from.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So what about the one chapter two? Did you guys get that from the leaders of the new school?
Yeah.
Okay, from the hip hop
So
group.
it's a lot of hip hop weaved all throughout the whole book,
Okay,
man.
cool. I said,
If
I
you really
said
think about
leaders, because as soon as I seen that
it.
title, the first thing came to my mind was like Busta Rhymes in there with the leaders of the new
Busta
school.
Rhymes, Dinko D, Charlie Brown. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for me, I write my book outline first, right? And then I go back for the chapter titles. I try to think about something that's catchy, is captivating. So all the books that I write, I try to have catchy chapter titles.
That's powerful. So let's talk about like how you guys came up with that title Griot and Griottes. And then let's also, if you would, like two-part question. What is that?
Okay. So the griots is a term from West Africa, and the griots facilitate many roles. The griots are teachers. The griots are storytellers. The griots are warriors. The griots are historians. The griots are ambassadors. And griots are liaison. Griots are musicians. Griots are singers. Griots are writers. So the griots facilitate so many different roles, right? And so we consider ourselves as storytellers. We consider ourselves as teachers. We consider ourselves as historians, right? So, and even liaisons between the youth and the elder, right? Because we both work with the youth. So it's a thing going on that's been going on, the book bans and censorship of information, right? So we put this book together also as well as with the Griot podcast, because the Griot podcast came, and then a few months after we started the Griot podcast, we came up with the book. It's very important for us in this day and time to tell our story from our own perspective and from our own worldview, right? So this book is to motivate, inspire those who are already facilitating those roles as a teacher, a historian, a musician, an ambassador, a liaison, whatever. Because a lot of these roles that we talk about, multiple roles, some of us are already doing this in our daily lives, right? So we're trying to motivate them to captivate and harness on that what they're doing to it, because there are many ways to assimilate information. It is many ways to tell our story. So the griot may told their story through performance art. So they may preserve their history through performing things or performing victories over their enemies. They are telling their story through performance arts. Or you have a griot who is singing about their cultural experiences, their cultural environment, and they're delivering that information through singing. You know, you got the storyteller who is telling stories through epics and folk tales and folklores to resonate with everybody, right? So we're trying to activate those people and motivate those people and get them aware of the book bans and the censorship of information, and now make it their duty and their responsibility. Hey, I have a responsibility. I have this duty, this gift, whether you're a podcaster. You know what I'm saying? A podcaster is a part of this information age as well. So it's your duty to get our story out there and tell our story properly, so that the next generation and the generation out there, our story will be still resonating instead of being obsolete, because these book bans are real and they are all over the states. They are happening state to state, worldwide right now. So it is important. So this book is to inspire and motivate those who already facilitating the roles of a griot, but in a modern day sense. That's why we call ourselves modern day griots. The book is called The Modern Day Griots, the new generation, because we're trying to reach the new generation, you know, and get those new generation as well as those who are already, you know, facilitating those roles to take that responsibility of telling our story, you know what I'm saying, and telling our story accurate and correctly.
Brother Sean, would you like to caveat on that and give your view about the book as well, please?
I mean, Kofi always says it so wonderfully and beautifully. He leaves me no meat on the bones by the time we do this. But no, I will say,
yeah, that kind of sounds like a little hook out there too. It sounds like a hook.
Hey, he does me the same way. If I let him go, once he get it in, and they ask me my perspective, I ain't got nothing else to say. He done said it all.
That was a smooth hook, like, bro, could you have left me a little something to taste?
I'd be funny, man. I just being funny. I love when Kofi do that. But no, on a serious note, he said the new generation. That's important because I want these kids to say, you know what? I got a story to tell too. And we just showing you how to tell a story. We got actual classes coming up in a few months. I don't want to say too much too fast, but we're going to start teaching people how do you go about telling your story? How do you package and deliver your story? We all got a story. And some folks feel like their story isn't glamorous enough, it's not worthy enough, it's not social media worthy. Man, forget all of that.
Man,
Your
that's so
unique
true. I
story.
felt that way at one time too,
Yeah,
bro. I really did. I love what you're saying right now.
you're
Please,
gonna
please continue to
you're gonna
encourage us
mess
to get
around.
it out of us.
Yeah, you're gonna mess around and tell your story, and one person across the world is gonna hear it or see it. They're gonna say, "Man, that was right on time for what I needed."
That's a fact.
And you at 2 in
That
the
is a
morning
fact.
making your story. You could have never thought about this person, or you don't even exist. You just doing what you're doing,
Exactly.
and when it come out and they see it, it's gonna resonate because it's your story and it's authentic and it's real. So the new generation part on that title is important to us.
You know, I like the breakdown you guys had uh, broke it down in the book. And if I may just give just a very brief synopsis of what you had mentioned, what the roles are. As you mentioned, you said historians, storytellers, diplomats. And some of these, like you said, Brother Kofi said it earlier, like some of these positions, until this book came out, I'm being honest with you, I never pictured, I didn't know that. I really did not know that. And so this right here like capsulates, you know, what these various roles of griots are. You have genealogists, you have spokespeople, ambassadors, musicians, teachers, warriors, warriors. I was like, warriors? I'm like,
Warriors.
say word.
So I love to highlight the TV shows and movies right in front of our face. And they had griots all up in there. We never, because most times it's not the starring person in the movie. We worried about the swords and the shields and the knights and all that. There's always the scribe. There's always the person with the scrolls. There's always that person reporting back to the king what they saw in the landscape, how many warriors they had. They're telling the king the story to make his war strategy. These were the griots. And sometimes whenever people were colonizing them, they would kill the griots first. People don't realize that. They would round up and kill the griots first to suppress the ability to tell stories.
Brother Kofi, you like to add?
Nah, man. I mean, he hit it. He hit it right home, man. Peace to Queen Melly and brother Obafemi, man. Peace, peace, y'all. But he didn't leave any meat on the bone for me neither.
I was thinking that. I said, how can you get two speakers to not have nothing to say?
Yeah, man.
You
But
know
you
what I'm
know,
saying?
but you
Now,
know, but
that is powerful, man.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed, brother Sean, I'm gonna circle back around to you because you chose certain personalities, you know, to be able to highlight in modern day. Because as it stated, it says the modern day griots and griottes, right? And so what caught me was like you had Coco on there. I'm trying to get her last name, man. Let me go look at because Coco Jones, I believe it is.
Coco Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, she a new artist. So you
Yeah, she
know
is.
what capsulated you about Coco Jones and why her?
Well, I'm gonna just put it like this. In all my presentations I do for the kids at schools, I make my presentation first, right? Then I go back to all my images and I say, okay, what person would resonate with these kids the most? So I might have a Michael Jordan picture or a Michael Jackson picture at first. These kids have never seen Michael Jordan play basketball. They wear the shoes, they wear the sweatsuit. You've never watched the Bulls basketball game from the 90s. You've never watched
Yeah,
Michael
buddy.
Jackson
A
Thriller.
sight to
So
see. A sight to
I
see,
gotta,
by the way.
I gotta use a Kevin Durant picture or a Kyrie Irving picture. Y'all resonate with that. I gotta use Chris Brown or Sierra or Beyonce because y'all resonate with that. So in that part of the book, I had to find different artists that these kids could recognize, resonate with, and now you can get it.
Mm-hmm. You
It's
know who I
never
thought
about.
about?
It's
I
never
thought
about
about
what
Erica
showing what I
Badu.
gotta do with. Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah,
thought about Erica Badu. I really
yeah,
did. And
yeah,
Sister India Irene.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's who
Let me
that
let me
came
ask
to
you.
my mind. Because as I read you guys' literature, I was
Yeah,
like, you know what? I said,
yeah.
man, so because we was talking about storytelling, and another person came to my mind was Slick Rick.
For sure.
You
Master
know what I'm saying?
storyteller.
Because he was a
Master.
storyteller, and Nas a storyteller.
Master. Masterful. Masterful. But I also put in there Ava DuVernay, who was the filmmaker and director,
Yeah, the 13th.
the 13th, right? Because she is a storyteller behind that camera, behind the lens. I use Dave Chappelle. I love telling this story. Dave Chappelle, the comedian, because those comedians are doing something magical on that stage for
That
45
threw me
minutes
for
to
a
an
loop.
hour. You know how brilliant comedians are? Have you ever heard comedians in interviews talking? These guys are
I'll be honest,
brilliant.
I never really, honest with you, tell you the truth. I knew it's an art,
Yeah,
but the way you laid it out so beautifully, one thing
yeah.
I like about the book that you brothers wrote is it shifted my thinking.
Mm.
It shifted my thinking. I'm just being honest with you, because I was like, Dave, you see what I'm saying?
Para-
Like,
Paradigm shift.
I'm
But
just
look,
being honest with you. I was like, wait a minute, I might have to keep reading to see why he chose Dave.
people people don't realize this.
Yeah,
Dave Chappelle mom is a PhD.
yeah, she's a
Dave,
teacher.
Dave Chappelle's grandfather was somebody very important back in like the how many years ago with the White House and Congress, something special like his family lineage is very important. So him being who he is makes sense. Look at the rapper Common. Look at Talib Kweli, Mos Def. Look at who their parents are. Look at who their
Yeah, that's
grandfathers
right.
are.
Oh yeah, the Black Star.
The
The Black Star.
the black tradition all through that thing.
Yeah.
So these guys are brilliant. Don't let society fool you. Even Kanye West mama, Kanye West, his family. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, we gotta pray for Kanye though. But I feel you.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I'm just making an example. I'm just making an example.
Man, I tell you, so that's powerful then, man. So, Brother Kofi, you hit on it earlier too, man, in regards to the book bans. You know what I'm saying? My question to you is that one reason why you started going harder in regards to pushing your literature? Because I know you really started pounding these books out here recently, man. Like you've been putting out a lot of body of work here
Mhm. Yes,
lately. So is that one of the reasons
that's
behind
that's
why you're
def
doing
yeah, that's definitely one of the reason. I'm gonna keep going. I was gonna stop, and I had to, and I'm gonna have to give it up to Keith Nicholson, our master griot, our elder griot. If it wasn't for me having a conversation with him, this book here wouldn't even be out. And I said I was gonna take a break from publishing books, and he said, "Why you want to do that?" And he explained to me what I was doing. Why would I want to stop, sharing my gift? Why would I want to stop writing when I'm passionate about telling our story, right? It
it?
doesn't make no sense to stop and take a break. Continue to keep going, keep pushing. This is something that you want to do, then do it. So I brung it
Hmm.
to my brother Sean. I go by Griot Kofi Piche the Griot. He goes by Shanathan the Griot Palador, right? So, and through an interview that we had this year, because I put out Africa's Hair
Hmm.
book, and
Another good read, might I
right,
add.
and he interviewed me, and our chemistry was so good, and it wasn't even just we've been friends for a while, but the chemistry was just so good, and I noticed that the first time I
You had
interviewed
to
him,
cook something up, huh? Had to
yeah, because
come
I
come
interviewed
together.
him on my Optic Perspective in
Put that
2020.
season on there,
Yeah.
Sean. Put that season.
So, I was like, man, let's create this podcast, and he was with it. So we went from talking about it to next month. We had the podcast locked and loaded with the first episode, and then probably after episode 3, hey man, what do you think about these book bands? Oh, episode 2. He's after episode 2. brung the idea. What you think about writing a book to complement the podcast, but also combat the book bans and the stuff that we got going on? Because we're trying to push this griot movement, right? And get people get people to recognize the roles that they are already playing. A lot of us are griots and don't even know we griots and griottes, right? So we locked and loaded with that, got the concept down, and this was episode 2. Episode 5, we was doing the book launch release where we was in Beauside, Louisiana. All of us met together. Everybody that contributed to the book, we met in one location, and we shot, our episode 5 live. With releasing we're releasing the modern day Griots and Griottes book, the new generation book, man. So yeah, man, it just this journey, everything just been fast. It's been fast. It ain't even been a full. It hadn't been a full year yet.
It ain't been half a year.
It ain't been half a year. We got a podcast. We on episode 7 this month, and we have a publication which is doing pretty good. We're getting great feedback and reviews.
That up there for you, brothers.
Okay.
Please continue to talk.
But I'm saying it's been a wonderful experience, man.
Yeah, the chemistry was so natural, and we always have our inside joke about Jada Kiss and Styles P, back to hip hop, how those guys are so intricate together. They can rap in between each other bars like it's one person, like it's one voice. And a lot of times Kofi will call me on the phone or text me like, man, I got an idea, so I'm gonna run something by you. It's always hot, it's always fire. I always say yeah, and we always do our thing. Because Kofi's a very innovative, visionary person, and Kofi is also a very hardworking. I call him an executioner. If you tell Kofi an idea is gonna happen, he's an executioner. He's a finisher. Wow. So he has so many attributes that I love, and I love being a part of that with him because I need that in my life. We all have roles, and he has so many things that he does. So I love being a part of that.
Man, so Sister Melly, she said, I did not know that I was a griot until after interviewing y'all. In fact, I have to second that emotion because I didn't know that I was functioning in that capacity either until I read your book. I was like, wow. I said, all this time, we've been functioning in an ancestral capacity.
Wow.
And we didn't even know.
Didn't even know it.
Yeah. Just like when we was pouring libations, we didn't know we was pouring libations.
Yeah, and I did it as a young boy. I did it as a young, and I wrote then that would inspire me to write.
Powerful, man. This is powerful, and that's why I don't believe in coincidence. And to me, you guys have a spiritual flow. You have a spiritual inspiration. You know what I'm saying? With your literature, man. It to me, it comes alive. Like when I read your book, it's like I'm watching a movie as I'm reading it, and it brings it to life. Like literally, I'm speaking for myself. It's like, and I'm not just saying this, brothers and sisters. I promise you, it's like I was, because my wife, she never seen me read nothing like I read your book. I guarantee you, she'll tell you that firsthand. And it was like it was just coming to life to me. The way you guys are so detailed and so intricate about it, and talking about the various ethnic groups over in Africa and the different names and the different variations in their thoughts. And I was like, I said, man, this is good. I said, man, this is some good stuff. You know what I'm saying? I like the various perspectives too. I ain't gonna tell everything. I want to be able to get the book. Hey, listen, y'all. For those of you,
tell it on the mountain. Tell it.
And you're looking for a good read, that's Afrocentric, African based. Listen, I promise you, I highly recommend the Modern Day Griots and Griottes by, the Griots podcast, which is of course Brother Kofi and Brother Sean. And another thing I love about it, you didn't leave the women out.
No.
You did not leave the feminine energy out, man. You know what I'm saying? I love that balance. That you guys have in the book, because all too often, man, our women are overlooked, man. And I celebrate you brothers for that, because it's not too many men, that actually give our women their just due.
I spoke on mentorship earlier, and the guys that helped my life out. I'd be remiss for not mentioning along that same path as those guys were guiding me. I was blessed to always have some incredible, brilliant females in my life saying, Sean, look, I know you're reading these books, and I'm glad you're reading those books. But while you're reading Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale and Geronimo Pratt, check out Angela Davis, Asada Shakur,
That's
Elan
right.
Brown, Erica Huggins. While you're reading this over here, check
Dr.
out
Francis Cress Wilson,
Winnie Mandela,
Georgia Group.
Betty Shabazz, etc. So I always had the duality in my personal life.
Absolutely.
That was
Absolutely,
always,
man.
and to this day, I probably have more females teach me things than guys. That more women have poured into me, showing me different things, bringing things down, elevating me more than the other side of
Wow.
the coin. That's my personal story.
Wow. That's something that's amazing, man, because I tell you what, man, I would have did our family a disservice not opening my ear to the wisdom that my wife had. You know, my wife was the one that actually helped to mold and shape me as an entrepreneur. My wife was an entrepreneur before she even met me. You see what I'm saying? And so majority of my teachers that impacted my life, man, were female, like you just said, brother Sean. Like, you know, I could go down the list, you know what I'm saying, of the queens in my life, man, that have been a wonderful example of what a queen, you know, should be and how she should carry herself. I'm very fortunate. I have women in my family. My grandmother, Esther Allen, my auntie Queen, Esther Young. You know what I'm saying? I mean, my auntie Penny Rash. I could point them out because they have always been that shining light in my life, man. You know what I'm saying? Of women who I just adored and loved. You know what I'm saying? That nurtured me, man. You know what I'm saying? And did not, I have to say this now, did not feminize me. You know what I'm saying? Did not try to make me into, you know what I'm saying, a female. You know what I'm saying? Reared me to be a mature man. You know, and some people don't believe that men can do that. I mean, excuse me, women can do that. You know what I'm saying? But I totally disagree because the women in my family raised me to be a mature man, and none of them ever raised me, you know what I'm saying, to conduct myself, you know, in any type of feminine way whatsoever, man. But brother Kofi, you know, I want to go around the table before we close out on this evening. I want you brothers to share some of your thoughts, about what you have going on. Also, let them know about the takeaway that you would like for them to take away, you know, from this literature, because this is Kuji Chagalia, you know, in full effect, in my humble opinion.
Okay, well, first, what we got going on, we got episode 5, not episode 5, episode 7 at the end of this month on the Griot podcast. Go check us out right now. All 6 episodes up right now. Spotify, just type in the Griot podcast and it'll pop up. That's on Spotify and Anchor. If you want to see the visual, go to Kofi P. Shea YouTube channel to check us out on there. As Sean mentioned, we got some classes coming up. It's going to be on udemy.com, which will be at the end of November. So be on the lookout for the classes. We got a virtual book club right now. If anybody wants to register, they can go to Read with Wade on Instagram in her bio and go to her website and register for those sessions. So we got that going on. We got a whole lot of stuff, man. We got some more book signings, more interviews, some more traveling to do. And the takeaway, man, like I said, the takeaway with the book, those who got the book and read the book, man, we just hope that you connect to the book and you harness in on one of those roles. I guarantee one of those roles you are already facilitated. We're asking that you harness in on that role. And once the light clicks, just like Barack's eyes has clicked, now he has a responsibility. Now we're asking everybody else to have a responsibility in telling your story and telling our story from our own perspective and from our own worldview. Also, I hope from takeaway that you understand them, the importance of these book bans, and hopefully we able to get y'all in some of these um, school, for these private sessions that they got going on discussing, banning these books, because a lot of us is not in those library board meetings. We're not in those school board meetings. We're not in those PTA board meetings. And it's not only affecting the school, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more tomorrow, but it's also going to be affecting the public libraries that you're going to as well. So, we just hope that everybody just take that responsibility, what I'm saying, and sharing our story and your story from whatever capacity that you are already serving as a griot in.
Yeah. In my closing remarks, I'm gonna say he mentioned the library just now, man. So my next book signing will be October the 18th in my hometown, Franklin, Louisiana, where I'm from, and it will be at a library. And I love to do library book signings because I want to bring the attention back to the libraries, back to utilizing those resources. Because guess what? The more they're not being utilized, these people in the government are finding ways to remove libraries. They're removing all these things. And so many people depend on a library for so many functions besides books. We always thinking about libraries and books. They have so many tools there beyond books. If we don't utilize them, they will be taken from us, and we cannot afford any more resources stripped from our communities. So we got to start getting back in there, utilize those things, bring our kids there, and really, really highlight the way our ancestors would almost live in that library, man. I want to bring that kind of flavor and thing back to the community, bro. That's my closing message. Get back to the libraries, man.
Wonderful. So what I'm going to do is, beloved, I'm going to type in the actual address so you guys can go and purchase this book. I know we talking good about it. I know some of you want to go and invest in your education, so I want to definitely put this up here for you all. Please make sure you also go check them out on YouTube. Okay. I definitely tune in, hit that notification bell too. Make
Yeah,
sure you
man.
like, subscribe, comment, on those brothers YouTube channel. It helps them out with the algorithm, what I'm saying? And they're able to reach a wider audience when you do that. Some people think it's all about fame. No, it's not. It's
No.
just the way it's business. That's just the way
Yeah.
business goes. They
It's the
need you
machine,
guys
baby.
to do that,
Yeah,
so they can reach more people. You
that's
know what I'm
right.
saying? So we know that we are, our responsibility, man. And then what I heard all this afternoon, I heard all the seven principles.
Oh wow.
I
Oh
heard
wow.
all the seven principles
Oh
of the
wow.
Ngugu Saba. I heard every last principle hearing these brothers talk, on this evening. So there goes the website, beloved. It's right there. You know what I'm saying? Please go check them out. Okay,
Same
www.sanctuary different branch publishing
Right.
com.
Right.
Okay,
That's right.
again, it's right there on the screen. I'm gonna leave it up for you. Okay, for those of you who want to tap in and connect with these brothers, what I'm saying? Check them out on Instagram as well, because I know Brother Sean is definitely on there. I know Brother Kofi is on there too. If I'm not mistaken, Brother Kofi on there by his name as well.
Yes, I'm on there by my name as well.
Yeah, make
And
sure you go over there and you check these brothers out,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Brother Sean, Brother Kofi, man. Hey, it's always an honor and a pleasure. This you brothers home.
Thank
So
you.
please
Thank you.
feel free for my wife and I. Your family, the door is always open to you, brothers.
Yes, sir.
So any current events that you have, you want to come on, you want to highlight it, you want to reach a broader audience. This is always a home for you, brothers, man. I
Wow.
got a great
Thank
deal of
you.
respect of your body of work, and also your character speaks for itself.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
I
So
appreciate
hey,
that,
this
man.
is
Thank you.
home for y'all,
Thank
man.
yes, sir.
you. Sir, yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. We
Thank
thank
you. Yeah.
You know it. No
All right.
problem, man. Well, all right, family. We're
Yes, sir.
closing out on this evening. We thank you all for tuning in. You know what I'm saying? Queen out there, Melly, thank you so much for tuning in. Our good brother Oba for me. Thank you so much for tuning in, man. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Y'all always out there, in our corner, rooting us on, man. So We greatly appreciate that. So we tuning out. Remember, family, every Sunday and Thursday. I know lately we've been real busy, but what we normally do is we come on here every Sunday, every Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. And we bring powerful personalities on like this periodically, like Brother Sean and Brother Kopi Pazai, to educate you with an African-centered base education. Okay, why? Because that's what we are, and that's what we've been cut off from, and we're out of our minds. And this is what's going to help us to get back in
Yeah.
our African mind.
Get in your mind.
Only teaching only teaching like this, information like this, is going to help us to find some sanity and some grounding. Okay, and I'm not trying to, prolong the time, and leaving off, but we need to really understand how important it is to learn about ourselves, man, to learn from us, from brothers like this who actually in their right minds, because it do matter. Woo, we should all know, listen to some of our people now, all of them not all there. You understand what I'm saying? Some of them are not conscious. Some of them sound unconscious, like somebody done knocked them upside the head. You understand? You understand? So, this is to put some sense back into us in this community. You understand? Information like this. So please check them out. We're signing out, and we'll be talking to you soon. Remember, Thursday, Sunday, 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, right here in this station. Peace.